Hello, and thank you for joining us today for a brief video depiction of some interesting aspects of American agriculture. All data used to create this video can be found in the United States Department of Agriculture's Census of Agriculture, which is produced every 5 years. Our intent over the next 9 minutes or so is to tell a visual story of how agriculture in much of the United States has changed since 1997. For today, we have chosen to focus our discussion on 21 states, from Ohio up to Michigan, down to Missouri, and west to the Pacific Ocean. The states under study are highlighted. To begin, let's take a look at where all the farms are, whether it be field crops, livestock, fruits, vegetables, or berries. This map tends to show how present agriculture is in a given county and state. In general, the more arid a state is, the fewer, but often larger, the farms are. Who operates these farms? This map illustrates the age of those who are farming. Aside from a few pockets, in 1997, the ratio of farmers over 70 to those younger than 45 was quite low across the region, averaging about 0.6. Fast forward to 2012 and this ratio increased to 1.4. America's farmers are aging. How does the region's farms break out according to the primary operator's gender? This map shows that over time, increasingly more women have taken the reins on the farm. In 1997, the region averaged about 15 male operators for every 1 female operator. In 2012, this ratio had fallen to about 9 men for every woman. This map shows the number of farms by the level of sales they experience. Since 1997, the number of farms selling greater than $100,000 has increased. Smaller farms, defined as those selling less than $25,000, have generally declined since 1997. This map shows what share of total farms are comprised by 3 categories. In general, the region's share of farms in the highest sales category have made gains. This is due to a combination of higher commodity prices and increased productivity. Increasing farm size, while not uniformly true across the region, also contributes to this shift. Market value of crops and livestock are shown in this map. Whereas counties more conducive to raising livestock have a higher share of value from livestock, counties with more crops derive more value from those crops. Counties in places like northwestern Iowa, where crops and livestock are both significant, are quite evenly split on value between the two. This map shows where the region's cropland is, be it for crops, pasture, or idle. Cropland tends to follow available moisture, whether it falls from the sky or comes from the ground. Counties with higher water availability tend to have higher portions of land devoted to growing of crops. The next several maps break down where certain crops are grown. This one shows where all the grains are shown in the region. Small grains, such as wheat, oats, and barley, dominate the western and plain states part of the region, while corn is king in the heart of the Midwest. This map shows where soybeans and other minor oilseeds, such as canola, rapeseed, and safflower, are grown. Dry beans are also shown. The majority of soybeans are grown in the same parts of this region as corn. Most canola is grown in North Dakota, and the dry beans are in Michigan and Idaho. This map doesn't need much explanation. Where the grains are, so is the grain storage. What is interesting, however, is that on-farm storage, as opposed to storing at elevators, has significantly increased in recent years. This is likely due to higher production and farmers' increased financial ability to purchase storage. Take a drive across this region and you'll know full well where the pastures and woodlands are. Some of the nation's most sprawling farms are in those arid states such as Wyoming, Montana, Nevada, and western Nebraska. Woodlands, on the other hand, tend to show up in states like Washington and Michigan. Washington, Oregon, California, Wisconsin, and Michigan dominate the region's production of vegetables. The variety of vegetables grown in these states is extremely diverse and is primarily dictated by climate. Potatoes, or are they spuds? Those are grown in Ohio, right? No, must be Iowa. Being originally from Idaho and now living in Iowa, I know the frustration both states have with this mix-up. This map makes me proud of friends and family in Idaho. Bingham County, Idaho consistently ranks number 1 in potatoes. Washington, North Dakota, and Wisconsin are also strong producers. In terms of the berries grown in the region, Washington, Oregon, California, Wisconsin, and Michigan stand out in this map. With California being the exception, berries tend to favor cooler climates. Orchards in California dominate this map. The interesting thing to note here is while California has the highest concentrations of orchards, their presence continues to expand in many counties across the region. Who would expect orchards to pop up in several Wyoming, Montana, and western Nebraska counties? Organic agriculture continues to increase in acreage across the region. Organic data collection was first captured by the Census in 2007. Since that time, many counties in the region have some sort of organic production. Hotspots for organic food production is in California, Washington, and Oregon. Farm work has to be done somehow, right? Where are the tractors? There are a lot of tractors everywhere, but it appears most of the big ones are in the heart of the Midwest, while the smaller ones are more evenly dispersed across the region. Combines follow grain, so states heavy on grain production have the most combines. The interesting thing about this map is that even though more commodities are produced over time, the number of combines have almost universally fallen. This is due to larger and more technologically advanced equipment and more efficient production practices. Forage harvesters and balers are indicative not only of where the forage is, but also where the climate is right for growing forage. In some states, such as Idaho and Utah, more forage is usually produced than is needed locally. These areas tend to provide for areas that are forage deficient. With the 2014 Farm Bill remaking farm policy, crop insurance is a critical risk of risk management for the region's farmers. This map shows adoption of crop insurance across the region. Crops grown and weather patterns tend to dictate what type of insurance is purchased. In an industry operating on the margin, the region's farms continue to transition from those which purely produce commodities to those which have some degree of value added to those commodities. Think of on-farm cheese production, wineries, and local meat processing. In light of high energy prices from 2009 to mid-2014, on-farm energy production and biomass harvesting increased. This happens in the form of methane digesters, wind turbines, and other means of production. It will be interesting to see how lower energy prices affect this trend. This concludes this video presentation of agriculture in this part of the world. As you've hopefully seen, agriculture is an exciting industry with enormous diversity and opportunity. As time permits, we will likely produce similar videos for other regions. Thanks again for watching.